We're speaking to parliamentarian and senior advocate Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani. Sir, thank you very much for speaking to India Today on this issue. We've been talking about the possible removal proceedings against Justice Yashwant Varma, who has already been transferred from Delhi to Allahabad. And we've seen how the Chief Justice has also sent the in-house committee report to the President. First of all, sir, as a parliamentarian, what are the next steps? Has the government reached out to any parliamentarians with regard to bringing in this impeachment motion?
I'm not a parliamentarian at the moment, so I cannot answer that question. But there is some talk there is some talk which is in the air that the impeachment proceedings are going to be undertaken. But that's a fairly, it'll take its time because Parliament is not sitting till July. So, and that has nothing to do with the criminality of this case. Impeachment is a procedure by which you remove a judge from office, right? It's a bit of a cumbersome procedure under our constitution. It's Article 217. You have to have a presidential address and so on. Both houses of Parliament has to be addressed. And then there is... there's a special majority in each house that you have to obtain, 2/3 of those present and voting, and so on. So that's a cumbersome. Will take its own time, but that is to remove him from office, right? Right now, the issue that should concern anybody is there going to be an FIR filed and is permission going to be given by the Chief Justice of India? The previous Chief Justice didn't do it, right? He had the in-house inquiry report, but he didn't do anything about it. Let's hope the present Chief Justice, whom I have great confidence in, will.
Sir, so if you could explain for our viewers, what exactly is the process? That since you've said impeachment is a separate issue and FIR is a separate issue, what are the procedures required to register an FIR against a sitting judge, and what is required to be done in this situation?
Well, you can always have an FIR. Look, an FIR is concerned with the investigation of a crime. So you have an FIR even when you don't know who an accused person is, right? You may find a dead body, but you might not know who the murderer is. But you still register an FIR because the murder has taken place, right? So an FIR should have been registered anyway. The circumstances of what happened at the judge's residence on the day of the fire, right? That was enough to register an FIR. There was a fire, and that fire led to the discovery of a huge stash of cash money in sacks in the outhouse, but in the premises of a sitting judge of the High Court. That should have led to an FIR. No question about it. Because an offense that disclosed, those facts disclosed the commission of an offense.
Right. So that is where my question comes in. Because the rule, according to the rules, an FIR cannot be registered against a sitting judge. So
that's
what
wrong.
happened?
So you don't say give the judge's name, right? You say because an FIR is about an offense. Then you find out who's involved. All right. Now there was an offense. Those facts showed an offense. You don't have this kind of cash money lying about in sacks, which are disclosed only because of a fire. And the judge who owns the premises says, it's not my money. Somebody has planted it in a conspiracy to falsely implicate me. So all those facts, whether you take the judge's version or you take any other version, an offense was made out. An FIR should have been registered.
So then the question comes on the Delhi police, which is under your party's government, sir, that what exactly...
Look, this is not about partisan. Please don't get, you guys politicize everything. This is about judicial corruption. It should cut across party line, and I don't care about which party does what. So don't get me involved into party politics. I'm concerned
sir,
with the purity of the justice system.
Why do you think the Delhi police or the MHA, which is
but at the moment, at that time, any case, I don't think any government there was an election going on. There was an election going on, a new government had to be constituted, right? And the police are not political. The police have to file a case because they find that an offense is disclosed.
So
this is a very serious matter.
Delhi police
if you're going to politicize it, you might as well not have...
No, sir, my question is about the police. So according to you, the Delhi police failed to do its job to investigate what happened?
Yes. The local police in that area should have registered an offense, according to me.
But now that we are looking at removal proceedings, we're looking at possible impeachment proceedings. And the allegation is that the judge, a sitting judge, may have been involved, or at least has not answered the in-house committee's questions well enough for the report to go from the Chief Justice to the President. Now, with these facts being known, what, according to you, should be the procedure and what is happening in this case?
Well, the procedure was laid down in Veeraswamy's case. You heard the Vice President saying that that case should be revisited, right? Before Veeraswamy's case, a judge was treated like any other accused person, in that the person, if he was involved in a case of corruption, right? And we are assuming this judge is involved in the case of corruption. Right? We still presume to be innocent. Let me be very clear and fair, so we get all sides. This has to be an educative exercise for everybody, right? Educative and a cleansing process for the judiciary. Right? So the law was that the person who was entitled to remove him from office was the sanctioning authority, right?
Okay.
Now that was the president in those days. The Veeraswamy's 5-judge judgment said that since the president is associated with the executive, right? Executive bias comes in, and therefore the independence of the judiciary is threatened. Where an investigation or prosecution of a High Court or Supreme Court judge is required, right? The sanction to investigate and or prosecute should be by the Chief Justice of India. Veeraswamy's case laid that down, right? Vice President Dhankar, right, in the light of what has happened, is saying that that judgment was wrongly decided and should be revisited. And I think he has a strong point of view. He has a strong point of view.
But that will be a much longer process if you want to decide judgment.
So going
what
by
happens in this particular case? That's
so
my
Aneesha,
question.
going by the present law, right? It is very simple. The ball is in the court of the Chief Justice of India. The former Chief Justice of India, Sanjeev Khanna, right, did not give sanction to prosecute during his tenure for reasons best known to him. The ball is now in the court of Chief Justice Gavai to give sanction to prosecute. Investigate, not just prosecute, but even to investigate.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you very much for speaking to India Today. We'll also have to wait and see what happens in the Parliament now that the report has gone from the Chief Justice to the President. Thank you, Mr. Jethmalani, for speaking to us on this topic.
Thank you. Thank you.